trillions will flow through blockchains like Stellar XLM, XRP. What do I mean by that? And how am I deriving at that? Well, we have to think about what's happening right now. What's being pushed into the public's eye. What is the Fed doing with Fednow? Well, they've released a document that explains exactly what their processes are, how they're going about it, what they mean by interoperability. Yes, we're going to have a look at that document. We're going to talk about real-time gross settlements, which is what I covered with the UK, the BOE, Bank of England, real-time gross settlement is actually in play right now. And it seems that Fednow are going to be following tact, and they look like they're going to be launching this in 2023. So, where am I getting this information from? How have I derived at this? What's it got to do with ISO20022 happening now? Let's find out. Let's have a little read of this document. Nathan, over to you.
Okay, thanks for that, Nathan. So, as you can see, this is a document from the Federal Reserve, frequently asked questions about the Fednow service, right? So, what are instant payments? What are the differences between fast and instant payments? What benefits do instant payments offer? What is required to conduct a payment between depository institution accounts? What is clearing, settlement, etc., etc., etc. So it outlines and it tells you, it answers these really important questions, and it tells you how Fednow service integrates this service payment solution for what actually in effect is real-time gross settlement. Okay, what we have over in the UK. So, you know, the document is quite long. I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but I will actually read for you and go through you know, what I've certainly picked up on, which is real-time gross settlement. I've created a video on that one. You can see that video for the Bank of England, and you know, it's actually the Fed now, the Federal Reserve, that are trying to introduce this real-time gross settlement. So let's pick up from number 7. What steps did the Federal Reserve take in determining whether and how to build Fednow service? As part of the recommendations published in the final report 2017, the Fast Payment Task Force requested that the Federal Reserve 1. develop a 24/7 365 settlement service to support instant payments, and 2. explore and access the need for other Federal Reserve operational roles in faster payments. The US Treasury subsequently recommended that the Federal Reserve move quickly to facilitate a faster retail payment system, such as through the development of real-time settlement services that would also allow for more efficient and ubiquitous access to innovative payment capabilities. In response to these requests and recommendations, the board published in 2018 a request for comment on 2 potential Federal Reserve payment and settlement services to support the development of instant payments in the United States. The vast majority of comments received supported the Federal Reserve building a real-time gross settlement service for faster payments. Again, like what we've got in the UK with the Bank of England. As a result of the extensive consultations with a wide variety of stakeholders, the board announced via public notice in August 2019 that the Federal Reserve would develop Fednow service, a new interbank 24/7 365 gross settlement service with integrated clearing functionality to support instant payments in the United States. In that notice, the board requested comment on the features and functionality of the service. On August the 6th, 2020, the board published a final notice detailing the features and functionalities of the Fednow service at launch, as well as potential features for future releases. Okay, that's great and all. So we know about real-time gross settlement, but how does blockchain actually get involved in this? All we're hearing is this faster payment task force and real-time gross settlement, Fednow. But how does it interoperate with blockchains? Has blockchains got anything to do with it? Well, really, for that we need to understand what the Fed's interpretation of interoperability is. And so we should just jump to 24 and see what the Fed have to say about that. The Federal Reserve defined interoperability broadly to mean that payment messages are routed or exchanged and settled such that a sender may initiate a payment and will seamlessly reach the receiver. With interoperability, an individual or business with a bank account would be able to send a payment to another individual or business without having to choose, understand, or even be aware of the path that it took. So that's a payment path that it's taken. In a payment system with multiple operators, interoperability could take different forms. As noted in paper by US Federal Payment Council, a Model 1 of interoperability is a payment routing, which is used in card payments and wire transfers. This model relies on the sending repository institution routing payments through a specific service based on paths available to reach the receiver. If there is more than one path, the sender or the sending depository institution may choose the service it uses based on specific criteria such as price and features. Another model is message exchange cross service, which is designed for bilateral exchange between two operators. In this model, depository institutions connecting to either service operator and those operators conducting message exchange with each other and providing settlement agreements, among other things, automated clearinghouses, so ACHs. Payments are used in this model, so they use that same sort of model. But again, where is blockchain in all of this? Well, the question is, will the Fed service be interoperable with other private sector services for instant payments and facilitate nationwide reach? The Federal Reserve Board views nationwide reach as a key objective for real-time gross settlement infrastructure for payments, for instant payments. So this is done through engagement with the industry. The Federal Reserve has explored interoperability and other paths to achieve the ultimate goal on nationwide reach for instant payments. The Federal Reserve, however, cannot accomplish interoperability for instant payments alone. The industry, depository institutions and their service providers, as well as service operators, must work towards this common goal, as it has in the past with other payment services. The model and timeline for achieving interoperability will depend on the level of commitment and engagement across the industry. The Federal Reserve is committed, the Federal Reserve is committed to using the widely accepted ISO20022 standard and other industry best practices to remove unnecessary and burdensome incompatibilities that could be a barrier to payment routing and model of interoperability. So the Federal Reserve is open to model of interoperability based on message exchange cross service in the future after introduction of the Fednow service. However, the message exchange model poses several additional complexities, such as technical message exchange and common settlement, and would require the full commitment and active engagement of the existing private sector service. Blockchains. Not just blockchains, but when we're talking about ISO20022, we're talking about more specifically the committee, T68C. Yeah? We're talking about that technical committee that deal with interoperability. And if you haven't seen my previous videos, go and watch them. I talk all about ISO20022, T68, that technical committee. Check it out. Anyway, Nathan, back over to you.
And there you have it. So you can see the Fed's clear intention with Fednow is for interoperability with everything. They want their product, the dollar, to be everywhere. They do not want it excluded from the new financial system. They want it included. They want it to have every other use case it could possibly have. Micropayments to wholesale payments. The dollar is going to be in there through Fednow. Now really, if you haven't done so already, you really need to check out my videos on ISO 20022, because it's important you bring yourself up to speed and understand why we're going to have blockchain interoperability. I mean, just looking at that, you can see clearly, yes, there is going to be blockchain interoperability through ISO 20022. It mentions that, and it says that that's the standard that they're going to be using. However, which part? So for that, you really need to check out my videos. In any case, we know trillions of dollars are going to flow through blockchains like Stellar XLM because of this. With CBDCs, again, there's no mention of CBDCs here, but it may be the case that they'll be using CBDC as one proponent for, or actually it may be one proponent for the Fednow service to be launched in 2023. Give that document a read. I'll link it down there in the description. In any case, make sure you pick up a ledger and a trezor. Keep your assets safe. Keep them on your own. Do not rely on centralized exchanges. Links down in the description. Pick up one or two or both, ledger or a trezor. I'm Nathan of Zion, aka Nathan. Smash the Zion coin up there. Share, because sharing is caring. And check out this next video. It's going to be on ISO. I want to bring you back up to speed on it. Check it out, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a great day now.